In Desmos, we can write an expression like f plus 200. So in our example before, we said let f be some number we don't know. In this case, we were saying it could be the amount, the normal fine for speeding. And then we saw this sign that says we have an additional $200 that we need to pay. So here is an example of we're using a variable f and we have an additional $200. So notice where it says add slider f. If I click on f, it gives me this little slider and I can move it back and forth. Now notice as I move it back and forth what happens to the number above it. Let's say, for instance, I say move it to where f is equal to 10. So in this example, I would say if the normal fine is $10, then speeding near George Wythe High School would be $210. Now, I don't have to limit it just to 10. I could actually change this to any number I want. I could say, well, what if the normal fine is 100? Well, then we can see we also updated that number above us. We could also just kind of experiment and say, well, let's go stepping up. Let's say, well, let's go up by 100 and go back to that slider. And actually, let me say it's probably up to $1,000. So I'm going to say the fine is probably somewhere between $100 and $1,000. So let's just estimate between $100 and $1,000. And then I can use this slider to go, well, if it's $100 normally, I will pay $300 for speeding near George Wythe High School. If the fine is normally, we move our slider, if our fine is normally $600, and then we have to pay an additional $200, then we're paying $800. Or if we move our slider around a little more, we can just kind of play around with this. Pick any value for our normal. Like let's say, for instance, normally we would pay $300 for speeding. If f is 300 for the normal fine, an additional $200 would be $500.